Hey, Jane. Are you there? Because you couldn't tell with you hiding yourself away from everyone. Now stop this nonsense and come out so that I can see you. After all, it's been 10 years since I last got a good look at you. Are you really just going to keep your mother-in-law waiting all day just to see her daughter-in-law?
Hello there, Kelly. It's nice to hear from you. To be honest, I didn't think that I would get any kind of message from you at all. But I can't believe it's already been 10 years. It really is hard to wrap my head around.
Well, that's what I should be saying. Now just how much longer are you going to be hiding from me, huh? All you do is make up excuses like being too busy with work to ever meet anyone. But I have had enough of this. I want you to come out and greet me to my face right this instant.
I'm really sorry, Kelly. You're absolutely right that we haven't seen each other in a long time. But I think the truth of the matter is that you don't want to see me either, so I don't get why you're pushing like this.
What in the world are you talking about? When did I say that I don't want to see you? I don't ever remember saying anything like that in the slightest. Unless you're talking about way back then. But that was years ago, and things have changed now, Jane. You really shouldn't be holding a grudge like that.
No, I'm not talking about back then at all, actually.
Oh, I know all about why you're acting like this. My son John has told me all about what's got you this way. It's all because you hate me. You hate your mother-in-law, and that's why you do all you can to avoid seeing her. That's what you've been doing for the past 10 years.
Wait, Kelly, no. I don't know why you think that, but it's not because I hate you at all. I have actually offered to go and try and see you, but it's always John who tells me not to go.
That can't be right. Don't you start telling lies about my son. How dare you try and pin this all on my poor little boy? You really are exactly like he tells me you are.
I'm not sure what you mean by that. What kind of person does your son tell you that I am? Has John been telling you things about me?
Oh, you bet that he has. And there isn't a single secret of yours that I don't know. He's told me everything. For instance, I know that you're a good cook, and that's about it. That's why I want you to show your face to me, so I can finally smack some sense into it for my son's sake.
Wait a second. Is that really what John has said to you? Because I really don't think that's true at all. I think I'm a terrible cook, but I always thought I made up for it by handling all the chores at home. But I know that John and I have our problems. I really am trying to make this marriage work, though.
Well, it seems to me like you're hardly doing enough as it stands. Honestly, just how my son ended up with a woman like you, I'll never know. And to think that you have the gall to avoid me after all this time being married. You really are a rude and selfish woman. Do you know that?
Kelly, please. I really have tried to go and visit you now and then. But every time I've tried to go, it's John who tells me that you don't want to see me and that I just cause trouble. That's why eventually I stopped trying to go out to see you at all.
There you go again, trying to peddle that horrible lie about my son. Do you really think that you're going to turn me against him? I know that the real reason you're not making the effort to come and visit me is because you hate me, isn't it?
You don't actually think that, right? I promise you that I really have wanted to spend more time with you, Kelly.
Well, then what are you trying to say? Because John is always telling me that you don't come because you dislike me. That's why we're always getting into fights when you come over, and that's why you try and avoid me. You think it's just easier this way. But that's just further proof that you've hated me all along.
Please, Kelly, you have to listen to what I'm trying to tell you right now. I'm trying to tell you the truth. You've got this all wrong.
Okay, then. Why don't you bake me something and bring it? Maybe if you can do that and offer me something good as a peace offering, then I could forgive you. But it better make up for all 10 years that you haven't come to see me.
You want me to bake you something to make up for 10 years of not seeing each other? I really have no idea what I could even begin to throw together for that. I could try and do something really special, but it would take some time and I'd have things I'd need to do before getting to that.
Aha! There! You see? You basically just flat out said that I'm on the bottom of your priority list. There you go again, finding excuses to put off seeing me.
I really can't believe you. Here I am, giving you a second chance, and you just spit it back in my face. Kelly, please, I think you're jumping to conclusions way too fast. You know that I work full-time, don't you? And then on the next long break I already have some traveling scheduled, so... Oh, wow! You have travel plans? Well, please, don't let your lame old mother-in-law get in the way of your luxurious travel plans. I'd hate to bog down your busy schedule even further. Well, the plans aren't even that luxurious, if you must know, and the whole trip was John's plan anyways. He said that he wanted to express his gratitude to me for all that I do around the house to keep it running. He just does these kinds of things for me from time to time. I see. Well, isn't that nice that my son is so sweet to you? But I hope you know that you've done nothing to deserve a man like him. Perhaps. But either way, your gift is going to have to wait until after our trip. Maybe I'll just get you a really amazing souvenir instead. Well, whatever. If you're saying that my son planned this trip for the two of you, then I guess I can't complain about it. Just don't forget about me! Of course not, Kelly, and thank you so much for understanding.
Hey there, Jane. It's been a while since you and I have last talked. It's Erin. Do you remember me? We used to go to school together. My last name is Cunningham.
Wait a second. Erin Cunningham? Oh, of course I remember you! Oh, wow, it really has been forever since you and I last talked. I'm surprised that you even have my number. But is everything okay? To what do I owe you the honor of reaching out like this?
Yeah, I really am sorry to reach out to you out of the blue like this. But the thing is, I had something I wanted to tell you, and so, well, here I am.
You had something you wanted to tell me? Well, what could this be about, I wonder?
I know this is going to sound weird at first, but just please hear me out, okay? The first thing I need to know is, how are things between you and your husband these days?
You want to know how things are going between my husband and I? Well, I don't know if I can say that things are going great, but they're not bad either. But what would make you even want to ask something like that?
Well, look, I get that it might not be my place to get into this, but your husband, John, I think he might be seeing someone else, and I think it's in your best interest for the two of you to break up.
Wait, what? What are you saying? I don't understand. Why are you talking about my husband like this?
I know that this must be a huge surprise for you right now, and again, I'm sorry to have to break the news like this, but I guess that my husband and your husband actually know each other, and he is where I heard this story from. So that's why I was checking to make sure things were okay with you.
Oh, your husband? I hadn't even heard that you were married, and I certainly had no idea that your husband and my husband were friends. Do you have any idea where the two of them would have met?
Yeah, they actually work at the same place and go out drinking with each other now and then, apparently.
I see. Well, I had no idea that his friend was married to one of my old friends. But how did you even figure out that John was my husband to begin with? Because I'm still not sure exactly who your husband would be.
Well, I just figured he was your husband because you updated your relationship status on your socials to say that you were married, remember?
All right. I suppose I did do that, didn't I? Oh, but that was so long ago that I completely forgot, really. In fact, I think most of the photos of us that I've uploaded are from before we were even married.
Well, anyways, my husband showed me some pictures that he had taken, and I realized it was the same guy. I realized that my husband's drinking buddy from work was your husband this whole time.
I see. Well, you have a really sharp eye, I'll give you that much. But why even come to me about this?
What do you mean? How could I not? You're an old friend of mine. I wasn't going to just let your husband get away with sleeping around on you when I knew that I had a means to contact you. Of course, I feel awful to be the one to break the news to you like this. I know it can't be easy to swallow all that I'm saying to you.
It really isn't easy at all. And I guess I was just surprised to hear from you since it's been so long. But anyways, thank you for coming to me with this. I really do appreciate it, Erin.
Yes, of course. I
I just can't believe that your husband would betray your trust like this. You really should just kick his butt to the curb and leave him right away. Well, as tempting as that sounds, John and I have a son together, so getting a divorce isn't quite that simple. But if he really is cheating on me with someone else, then that might make this whole process easier. Either way, I'll just have to talk this out with John and we'll figure out what to do next. Wait, what? You're going to talk to him about this? Oh, I really don't think that you should do that. Wait, what? But why not? I mean, it sounds to me like my husband is seeing someone behind my back. I really feel like I should confront him about this. Ask him why he's doing this and then talk out the details of the divorce. Well, hold on a second. Yes, your husband seems to have a girl on the side, but I think that they're talking about getting married, too. So if you divorce him, then you might be giving your husband exactly what he wants by doing so. Wow, you sure seem to know an awful lot about my husband's situation. Did you really hear all of this from your husband? I don't know anything. I'm only telling you what I heard through my husband, okay? I just think you should think this through very carefully. I see. Well, I appreciate your input, but at the end of the day, this is going to be settled between John and I. Wait, please, Jane. Don't tell John a single thing about this at all. I mean, if you tell him how you found out about this, you'll make your husband hate mine. And I would really hate to be the reason why you and John split up and why my husband lost such a close friend. Well, I understand that, but it sounds to me like your husband has already broken my husband's trust by telling you this. But it's not like I can blame him. But now I just don't know what to do at all about this. Well, I'll pass along any new information that I happen to hear about this, okay? But just tell your husband about what I've told you. If you really want to divorce him, that's fine, but just think of another reason as to why you'd want to. And whatever choice you make about this, I really think that you should hurry up and do it quickly. Well, again, I appreciate your input, but this is something I'm going to have to think of how to handle. But I do appreciate you willing to pass along more information, and I'll take what you said under advisement.
Jane! You really are such a horrible mother. Do you realize this? I mean, really. The least you could do is send some money to me to help take care of your son. Honestly, do you think I run some kind of charity house or something like that? I'm keeping tabs of all the money I've spent on food.
Hello, Kelly. I'm really sorry, but I don't quite understand what you're talking about right now.
Don't you play stupid with me. You know what I'm talking about. Don't you dare try and get out of your responsibilities here. You have been traveling around for the past month while you've left your son here with me so I can look after him. Who in the world leaves their child alone for that length of time? Huh? Honestly, why hasn't my son divorced you yet?
I'm sorry, but I really don't know what you're talking about now. Are you saying that you've been with Harry for the past month? Because he's right here sitting next to me. He even went with us to our last trip together, so I haven't left him alone at all.
Wait, what? Hold on a second. You do only have one son, isn't that right?
Yes, I do only have one son. That's exactly why I'm so confused as to what you could be talking about.
But then, who in the world is this child that I've been asked to watch?
You're telling me that you've been watching a child for the past month because you thought it was Harry? Did John leave that child with you? Did he tell you that was Harry?
Of course he did. John dropped your son off with me a month ago. Or at least I thought it was Harry, but now I have no idea who this kid is. Are you telling me that you really have no idea about any of this? Because it feels like some giant prank is being pulled on me and I'm not laughing.
No, Kelly, I swear that I am just as confused about this as you are. But I'm telling you that I only have one son and he's sitting right here next to me right now.
But that can't be right. This kid here looks so much like his dad. But if you have Harry, then this must mean that.
I'm afraid that it appears so. It sounds to me like John has a secret child. What did he say when he dropped that boy off with you?
Well, he told me that you were all going on your trip and that I had better not say a word about you leaving your son with me to anyone. And then he patted the boy on the head and said that he was off to take you and him to the airport.
I see. Well, I really had no idea about any of this at all.
I know, but since you're all still away on your trip, then surely John must be there as well, right? Maybe you could talk to him about all this and clear this up.
Well, yes, he was going to come with us on this trip, but then a sudden business meeting came up and he said he couldn't make it. So I am on vacation right now, but it's only Harry and I here. I guess we both learned a lot about the kind of person that John really is, haven't we?
No! Don't say it like that! My son isn't a bad boy. There has to be some kind of mistake there. I'll call John and he'll clear this all up.
Well, if he really is on a business trip, then I don't think that John is going to be answering his phone. But now I wonder what he told you when he left.
He told me not to bother reaching out to either of you because he wanted to be able to enjoy his vacation without being reminded of the outside world.
I see. But then if he told you all that, why did you bother reaching out to me like this?
Well, it's because this little boy eats a ton of food. And across the time that he's been here, I've already gone through the money that John gave to me to buy food for him. So I just wanted to complain to you about this.
I see. But now you and I both realize that neither of us have any idea who this kid belongs to. But I'll be sure to visit you after we get back and look into this. In the meantime, you might want to ask that kid some questions about his family.
No, you don't have to come and visit at all. I will talk to this kid, however. I'm sure that he'll have a rational explanation for why John did what he did.
Yes, I'm sure John had a great reason for leaving behind his secret child at your house.
But this doesn't make any sense at all. In the past 10 years, this is the child that I always knew as Harry. John has left this boy with me so many times, but I always wondered why he acted so shy and awkward around me when I was his grandma.
Yeah, well, it sounds like there's a lot that's gone on with John that we don't know about. But if John has really been leaving this kid with you for over 10 years, then we still need to figure out who the mom is.
Okay, then I'll try and talk to this boy, and I'm sure that he'll give us a good answer that will solve everything.
Right, well, hopefully it's not too much of a process for you.
Actually, I literally just asked what his mom's name was, and he said it was Aaron.
Aaron. Huh. I really should have figured that.
Do you think you know this person? Because if you do, then this is all your fault.
Oh, I know this person. Erin is an old classmate of mine. She looks pretty innocent from the outside. But she had quite the reputation in school for stealing other girls' boyfriends like it was nothing.
I see. So then you're saying that you had your husband stolen away by this girl?
It seems like it. In fact, now that you say that, in home ec, Erin was always good at cooking, but terrible at everything else. That's why I was surprised when you said that John said all I could do was cook. If he was talking about being with a woman who can cook, then it certainly wasn't me. And it probably was Erin.
Wow. You sure are analyzing your husband getting stolen from you with such coolness. But still, I think it's hilarious that some old friend of yours ended up stealing your husband from you.
Well, it was only a matter of time before she could have him anyways. I was thinking of divorcing your son. Which I'm sure makes you all the happier to hear.
Oh, you have no idea what amazing news that is to hear. But yes, you two should get a divorce. Then you can finally leave my poor son alone.
I can understand why you'd want to get rid of me, but I should warn you that Erin is a real piece of work.
What is that supposed to mean? What's wrong with her?
Well, for starters, you already know that the only thing she can do is cook. But you should also know that she is very fickle and leave men on a whim. But as long as John is making a good salary, I'm sure she'll stay to leech off of him.
Well, who cares? At least it'll be better than having to deal with you leeching off my son instead.
Okay, have it your way. But don't say that I didn't warn you. You might also want to know that I've actually hired a PI to look into the affair between John and Erin. I wanted him to gather evidence that I could use against the two of them during the divorce that I could sue them for the affair. Anyways, enjoy life with your son, who has lied to you for the past 10 years, and his secret family. I'm sure you'll all have lots of fun getting along together. After that, I got the completed report from my PI, who tracked down as much evidence as he could on John and Erin's 10-year affair with each other. They were so happy to find out they could finally be together. But after they heard how much they were being sued for, their smiles didn't last long. I took the money that I got from the two of them and decided to move to a new city and start a new life with my son. We moved a reasonable distance from where my parents live, and they come over quite often to take care of Harry. Him and I have even started going to a cooking class together so that I can improve my skills in the kitchen. After a huge screw-up at his work, I heard that John was demoted and given a rather large pay cut. I heard that things between John and Erin didn't go so smoothly after that, and that shouting can be heard coming from the house where Kelly, Erin, and John live and struggle to keep with their bills and debt.
Belle, have you heard anything about my son?
I have. I heard that there's been some trouble with the business and all of that, right?
That's right. All has to do with this recession the economy has gotten into. And now it's his company's turn to be affected by it.
So this is going to be a pretty large problem then, right? I tried asking my husband about it all, but he wouldn't really walk me through all the details about what's going on. He had a terrible frown on his face and all, so that means something bad is about to happen to it.
Considering the pride he has, I can understand why he doesn't want to talk about it with you. After all, he put everything into that business, and it was like a second child to him.
I can see that, but I am still his wife. I would really like it if he talked with me some more about what's going on here, in case there's something I could do to help out.
I'm sure you would like that, and I'm sure that pretty soon here he will be talking to you some more.
You think so?
For the time being, all we can really do for him is be here to support whatever it is that he needs, right?
That's right. We have our daughter as well to think about, and so I want to do anything that will help set his company straight.
Thank you for saying that. I bet my son is such a happy man, having been able to marry a woman like you. So, there's one way I think you can support my son.
And what could that be?
I would like for you to become the guarantor for when he has to borrow a lot of money.
What? How much is he going to have to borrow, though?
600 million is what I've been told.
$600 million? That's not the kind of money that I could possibly do anything about.
And the same thing can be said about my son right now. Hence why he needs you there to support him with that right now.
But that is impossible, Georgia. If anything, it should be you becoming the guarantor for him, right? Unlike us, you have all that money and that house left over from your husband.
Belle, are you saying that I take responsibility for all the debt he's gotten into?
No, that's not what I said there.
Listen, no matter what you have to say about the current situation, it's too late.
What do you mean by that?
Because I've already gone and made you the guarantor for my son's $600 million loan.
What? You've already written me down as the guarantor for that?
I have, which means you can't back out of it now.
How dare you do something like that? That can't be legal.
Well, that's too bad for you because everything has already been processed and dealt with. I made sure to sign all the paperwork for you with your name, and the bank was more than happy to work with that.
I'm not playing any games here. Now you've really taken things way too far with me, Georgia.
And now, have I taken things way too far with you? You're his wife, and as his wife, it's your job to help him. If you have any complaints about that, then I'll kick you out of this family.
You'll kick me out?
And by the way, this was all my son's idea. With the help of him, we were able to make you partially responsible for all that money he's having to borrow.
That makes sense. He's the only one who has ever seen my signature before. This is screwed up, though. Had you at least told me one thing before all of that?
We never needed your permission to do this, though. From now on, you're going to be helping out with paying off that loan that he had to take out for his company.
You have to be joking.
Belle, did you hear about what's been going on with my brother?
Oh, about all the debt he's in?
Yeah. Are you gonna be alright?
Well, in terms of myself.
I'm sorry for what's been forced onto you.
Hey, that's not something you should be apologizing for, though.
But I've always been against my brother having a business of any kind. Not saying that he's completely incompetent when it comes to running a business. But I knew it would never work out for a man like him.
Now that you mention it, you have always been telling him things about that.
Yet, he never once listened and started the business anyway. And now is watching it all crumble down around him.
Maybe someone like him thought he'd see the future where his company would thrive.
But when thinking of all the things you've done for this family to help us make things work, I won't allow you to take on any more of our burden.
You won't allow me? Did I ever do anything for you all in the first place?
I'm talking about my dad and his care. You ended up taking care of him in my mom's place, all because she was too childish and self-centered to care, right?
But nothing about that really felt like taking on a burden that you had all left me with. I wanted to be there for your father because he really thought of me like his daughter and treated me like an important member of the family. Also, when it comes to my daughter, your father really spoiled her a lot. After all, she really loved him and made him so happy to have a granddaughter. It's because your father was around and was too kind that this family was able to share so many happy memories amongst one another. So really, the reason I went and cared for him during his final years was to repay him for all he done for me.
Is that right? Is Charlie doing all right?
Yes, of course she's doing well. Currently, I'm doing my very best to make sure that she has a really good future and all after this.
I see. And I think the same thing. I want her to be raised the best way possible in a loving and caring family. So if there is ever any issues with that debt my brother's got into, tell me about it. I would hate for it to have a major effect on Charlie's life. Consider me your friend during these hard times, alright?
Are you sure? Are you sure it's okay for me to ask for help?
Of course, Belle. I happen to really love my dad as well when he was around. And the reason he was able to enjoy this last few years on Earth in peace was because of you. I really appreciate what you did for him then.
I see. Well, if you're wanting to help, then let me tell you something really important.
Of course. Say whatever you have to say to me.
I'm having to take on a large part of my husband's debt.
What? Why do you have to deal with any of that?
In regards to that, I'd like to talk with you in a little bit more detail about it all.
Belle, could you tell me your plan for helping us pay this debt off? I would like to know what you're going to do in order to help pay off $600 million worth of debt.
Why are you asking me that question? That's the kind of conversation you should be having with your son right now, correct?
That kid is wanting to start up another business now. So the one who should be managing all the debt now is you, Belle.
So he's just going to deny the present issues we're having and try again with all of that?
What was that? What was that kind of attitude you just had?
My husband tries way too hard to make a bunch of money in one go, and that's starting to annoy me a lot. Right now isn't the time for that kind of thinking anymore, and what he should be doing is focusing on the debt that he's in now. What's wrong with just getting another job and making the money overtime to pay things off first, and then trying again in the future?
That isn't the kind of thing you should be saying anything about right now. That kid has an act for business, so just shut your mouth and watch him go.
For someone who has an act for business, it's a bit strange that he'd be in debt 9 figures at this point in time, right?
Anyway, in my son's place, you will be taking care of that debt. Now you get out there and start paying it off.
I just can't go out and start paying it off right now, though. My daughter is going to be applying for schools pretty soon here, and I have to be around in order to support her there.
Huh? If your husband needs your help with all of his debt right now, then who gives a damn about your daughter going to school?
Are you freaking kidding me right now? She happens to have a future of her own that I want to support. So in order to make all of that happen, I'm going to stay by her side and make sure she knows what she's doing.
You putting her through things like applying for schools and all that is strange to me.
What the hell do you mean by that?
I am telling you that you have to start paying off that debt. Yet you keep going on about how you're going to send your daughter to college. How are you going to do that when you don't even have the money for it? When your daughter gets out of high school, you send her to work right away. And then the two of you will be paying off the debt for my son.
I'm not going to allow that to happen to her, or I.
All right then. I'll have David start to pay some of his debt off then. He's working a very good job now as well, and will be more than capable of paying some of the debt off.
Wait a second, Georgia. David has a family of his own as well now, which means he has more important matters to deal with than taking care of his brother's debt.
Shut the hell up already. If he doesn't do something for his older brother who is in a pinch, then what are we going to do? He's a part of this family as well, so he has to help us with all his debt, right?
No way. Why do you have to force everyone in this family to go through hell, all for something that is my husband's fault? Can you please stop getting your family wrapped into all this trouble again?
This is for the family, so I'm going to do whatever it takes to make things right. And, as a part of my family, you, your daughter, David, and all of his family will start working in order to pay off that debt. I will not listen to any of your whining and complaining anymore.
Please cut that crap out right now. What happened to my husband's business and himself this time was what he had coming for him, which means I'm not going to sit here and allow myself to be wrapped into any more of it.
Belle, you've pulled all your crap together and found yourself a job now as well, right?
Mom, asking me to go out and find a good enough job to pay off debt with it isn't as easy as you think during a recession. I don't even have a good education or resume either.
I told you already, I'm not listening to any more of your whining and complaining, right? If you're not going to get a job soon, how are we going to be able to pay $600 million worth of debt for my son? Or would you rather start selling some of your organs in order to pay it off?
I would never do something as crazy as that. Can you please start thinking about all of this with a bit more common sense?
Well then, you better find yourself a job right now. At this point, a part-time job would be better than doing nothing at all. And if you start working 3 or 4 of them for 24 hours a day with no breaks, at some point, all that debt would be paid off, right?
If I were to do that, then my body would break down before getting anywhere close to $50,000 paid off. And then what? Who would be around to take care of my daughter? I'm not going to do what you're telling me to, Georgia.
Stop going on and on with that nonsense. If you continue to go on about how you're not going to get a job and work for us, then I'm going to kick you out of the family.
Well, I've already left the house.
What? What are you talking about right now?
Well, you told me before that if I didn't want to work in order to pay off my husband's debt, then I'd have to leave the house and the family, right? So I left.
Are you serious?
Very much so. After all, it was you who told me to leave you guys if I didn't want to get a job and work.
Then what's going to happen to my son? What did he say before you left? There's no way he was going to let you leave like that.
Actually, I'm not sure what he would say about this, as he doesn't even know that I'm gone yet.
Why?
You think I'd care to say anything to a man that wouldn't even care about what his own wife thinks? And would forge her own signature to make her responsible for his debt? Absolutely not. I have a daughter that I need to protect, and this was the action I've taken in order to do just that.
But you've always been a housewife and nothing else. What are you going to do about money?
And for a short time, I'll be back at my parents' house. And as for work, I have a friend from back in my school days who has a company now as well, and we are currently talking about having me go and work for them. So you don't have to worry about my financial circumstances.
But just a second ago, you said you didn't have a job.
Well, I don't have one decided on yet. I still have to go through an interview and things like that later. But well, I think my friend will be more than happy to let me work for them.
And you were going to keep all that money you make for yourself?
I would never do something like that. I plan to use the money I make in order to send my daughter to college.
And what's going to happen with my son then? He should be more like family to you than anyone else.
Not at all, because my husband is no longer family to me.
What do you mean by that?
I'm going to divorce him. I've already been talking with him about things like that before, and so I made sure to leave the divorce papers at the house for him.
You're divorcing him?
You think I was just going to stay together with a loser like that? There was no way him and I could stay together any longer, after he gone and did what he done, making me the guarantor for his debt, without ever asking me a single thing first. And then, you guys wanting to force my daughter to give up on our future and just start working to pay off that debt is BS. I'm going to cut ties to all of you now.
For some reason, you really do seem serious here.
Of course. I would never think about joking over something as serious as all of this.
If that's what ends up happening, then the only other person who can pay off that debt would be David. Are you really okay with doing that to him?
What?
It makes sense, right? If you run off and never come back, the only person we have left is David. You're going to leave me with no other choice but to force David to be the one to take on all of that debt. Aw, I feel so bad for poor little David.
For starters, the only one who should be forced to pay off all that debt is my husband.
And I told you already that won't happen. And that's why you were made the one who had to pay it off for him. Yet you went and ran away from us with your daughter, leaving us with David being the only person we can rely on now.
Well, David isn't going to listen to anything the two of you try and ask him to do.
Don't be so quick to think such a thing. That boy's always listened to everything, and is the easiest pushover we've ever seen. I guess it's time for me to go and ask him to start paying off all the debt now. I have no use for you anymore, so don't you ever contact me again. David, things have really gone downhill for us here.
Mom? What's happened over there?
Actually, this has to do with some of the debt that your brother is in.
I've heard all about that, Mom. Things have been really tough there, it seems.
And so, your brother and I decided that it would become a family effort to help your brother pay off all of his debt.
Yeah, I heard about that as well.
However, the problem is, your brother's wife went and took a little bit of money with her and ran off.
What? What do you mean she took a little bit of money and ran off?
She told us to take what little money we had and send it to her in order to use toward the debt. But when we did that, she took it all and ran it away. And to make things even worse, she left divorce papers at our house. She really just went and left us with nothing at all, and the only person left we can ask for help is you, David.
Hold on a second. I don't really think that someone like Belle would ever be able to do something like that.
Listen, David, ever since she began to notice her husband's company not doing so well, she was preparing to run off with whatever money she could manage to take. And you know what else? She didn't even bother taking her own daughter with her, and is only going to save her own skin.
Are you telling me the truth right now?
Well, of course I am, David. That's why I'm asking you to please help us pay off this debt your brother got into.
Not happening.
What? David, are you just going to stand up and abandon your older brother like that?
He was asking to be abandoned after what he'd done, forcing his wife to take on all that debt without ever asking her first, and then going off to try and start yet another business.
What the hell are you saying?
Did you really think I knew nothing about what was going on over there, Mom?
I know what's just happened. You must have been told loads of bullcrap from Belle before I got to you. And that's why you're upset, right? Well, all of those things were lies she was saying.
I'm not believing you, Mom.
Why the hell not? You and I are family, right?
I was shown all the paperwork that forced Belle to become the one to take on all that debt from her husband. And there we could see that her signature was made on the papers, even though she wasn't the one to sign them or agree to them. After having been shown all that, how do you expect me to believe any of the things you are saying, when you've already shown me that you are more than comfortable with committing fraudulent acts?
You have it all wrong. You are misunderstanding all of this.
But unlike you, someone like Belle happened to be with Dad until the very end. Unlike his own wife who abandoned him and was never around at home to care for him. There's no way someone like her who happens to care so much about someone else's family would just get up and run away for no good reason. After what you both did to her, that love she was trying to hold on to with you guys died off. And she had no other choice but to run away after that.
Wait a second, David. Calm down there.
And just like Belle, I'm feeling the same way after what's happened this time. I'm fed up with the both of you. From now on, don't you guys ever bother me again. I'm cutting ties now. We'll never think of both of you as family ever again. So don't you ever talk to me anymore.
It's all because of you that David is now cutting ties to us.
It's not at all because of me, though. That's just the outcome that both of you deserve after all you've done to your own family.
What am I going to do about this? If nothing happens soon, then that debt is really going to become a problem for me.
How about you do what you were always trying to force me to do and get a job in order to make some money?
How am I supposed to go out and work a job when I'm already close to turning 60 now?
Is that right? You'll be turning 60 soon? Well, that's cool and all, but what does that have to do with you being able to work or not?
Belle, you're not actually thinking of running away from your husband and I like that forever, right?
You can call it running away, but I like to call it starting a brand new life, which I've already began preparing for now.
Just because you're divorcing my son doesn't mean that your duty of paying off the debt just goes away, though.
Why would you think that?
Listen, you're bound by law to be the one to pay off that debt after you sign those contracts. I don't care if you do end up being able to divorce my son and all. You're still going to have to pay off all that debt without question. Now, if you rethink what you're doing there and come back to this house and stay with my son, I'll be willing to help out with paying off that debt a little, all right? How does that sound? That's a pretty enticing deal, right? There's no way a single person would ever be able to pay off $600 million worth of debt, right?
I already told you before that the contract you tried and signed me on for would be never valid, right?
And I told you that it's already been processed and accepted by the bank.
You really think this country and that bank are stupid enough to allow you to force another person to take on someone else's debt like that? No way.
But the bank did accept the signatures and everything.
No, they didn't, because I've already been told that they threw all that paperwork out.
What? What the hell do you mean by that?
After getting in touch with a friend who also happens to be a lawyer, they looked into all of that for me and told the bank to toss all that paperwork out. He proved to the bank that I was in no part aware of those papers being signed by you and my husband and forced the bank to disregard anything that had to do with my name, which means those contracts and everything are gone now.
You're lying.
Not at all. So with all of that in mind now, there is no way I'm responsible for paying off even a cent of that debt now, and I never ever will be. Therefore, please, you two go and start making those payments now.
What's going to happen to my son then?
From what I can imagine, he's probably been told the news about what's happened and is freaking the hell out now.
Well, if you're still talking to him at all, can you tell him to never ever come back to my house now?
What? Hold on. Does this mean that you're going to be abandoning your own son now too?
Well, of course I'm going to get that little brat out of my life. You think I'd want to keep someone as stupid as him, who put himself into $600 million worth of debt around?
Interesting. After all that crap from you about throwing your son away, even though I was his wife and all, you're now going to do the exact same thing because you're going to get burned now?
Well, of course. I'm too important to be getting hurt by him now, too.
Then you wouldn't mind telling him that, right?
Go right ahead. I still have my dead husband's money and his house, so I don't need a son like him in my life anymore. As long as I just last long enough with the money I have to start getting my Social Security, then I'll be just fine until the day I die.
I'm really sorry to hear you saying all of that, because what you're thinking won't happen.
And what the hell is that supposed to mean?
Because your husband went and left me with all of his money and everything.
What?
Seems your husband really didn't forgive you for abandoning him like you did after all, when you forced me to come and take care of him for you. Because of that, your husband's lawyer called me the other day and told me I'd be getting everything from him in the will.
You're lying about that, right?
Nope. And had both you and my husband come to me first about the debt and everything, instead of forging my name onto those papers and forcing it all onto me, I would have used your husband's money to help pay it all off. But since you both went and stabbed me in the back like that, I no longer care about that debt anymore. I'm going to use all of this inheritance for my daughter and myself now.
Then that means this house is also...
I have no reason to live in a place like that, so I'm going to have to put it up for sale.
Hold on a moment. That would mean that I can no longer live in this house anymore, right?
That's right on the money. Considering all of this is the fruits of your labor, right?
Hey, please, Belle, rethink what you're planning on doing here. My son is already in so much debt, and if I'm to lose this house, there's no way the two of us could live.
Not my problem. As family, you're supposed to help one another out, right? Well, then how about you ask your son to let you live with him, and then you won't have to worry about becoming homeless anymore, right? Unlike the two of you, I'm not your family anymore, so none of that has anything to do with me, all right?
Wait, you'll forgive me if I go ahead and apologize for everything I had done to you, right? Right?
That's not going to happen. I have no intentions of ever talking to the two of you ever again, so don't you ever show those disgusting faces of yours around me again.
Did you finish moving in and everything?
Yeah, I think I finished up with all the plans I had for this move.
I am really sorry for all the trouble my family caused you, alright? I know that I couldn't repay you for everything you've done. Just know that I really am thankful for you.
What's this all about? You're making it seem like this is going to be the last time you ever see me, right?
What? Well, I mean, you and I are no longer family anymore.
That has nothing to do with the relationship you have with my daughter and I. The only people I cut ties to were your mother and your brother. Unlike those two, you are still like a little brother to me, and you always will be.
Thank you so much for saying that. You really made my day with that.
From here on out, you and I will still be family, so if there is ever anything you need from me, please don't be afraid to ask.
Alright, I sure will.
Right after I was finished talking with Georgia for the last time, I went to court, and that's where my husband and I settled the divorce, and I was able to get full custody of my daughter from him. He would be forced to pay child support for the next 2 years, until she turned 18 years old, and was lucky enough to dodge a settlement for me in the divorce. However, that wasn't the only thing he needed to go to court for, as the next case on the list was him and his mother facing accounts that they'd both gone and forged my name onto official documents. And thankfully, with the help of my friend the lawyer, he was able to come in and help show evidence of all that to the court, and that landed the both of them with $10,000 settlements they had to pay me for causing such issues for me. After having lost both of their houses and the inheritance that was thought to be going to them, both Georgia and her son had to move into a really small studio apartment together. Just like I was told, my husband went and tried to start up another business that would make him a bunch of money in a short time instead of getting a normal job. And that was something that Georgia didn't like at all. She was actually against something like that from the very start, and wanted her son to do nothing more than get a real job and just work to pay off all his debt. But because he had never listened to her, she went with his idea of forcing me to pay off his debt, and then tried to do the same to her younger son before he told her to screw off. However, after we both were able to escape her, she turned back to her older son and told him he couldn't start another business, even though that's all he wanted. Because of that, those two ended up really starting to grow distant from one another, and every night, the two would have fights that made everyone in the apartment building upset. There were plenty of cases of them having to deal with the landlord and everyone else because of said fighting, and one time, it had gotten so bad that the police were called. However, they never ended up getting evicted from the place. And soon after all the fighting started to die down, they both went out and got themselves part-time jobs in order to start bringing in some money that could be used on paying off that debt for once. As for myself, on the other hand, I was able to find myself a new job, and there I've been making more money than I initially thought I could with my lacking resume. I was able to get all of that money from my father-in-law had left behind for me, as well as money from the buyer of his house, after only a few weeks of it being on the market. Of course, it is a lot of money, but I'm putting it all away into my savings, and won't be touching a cent of it until after I've put my daughter through school. There will hopefully be some money left over for myself, as well as when all is said and done with my daughter. But in case there isn't, I'm going to make sure to continue working for a long time and using that money I've earned for myself. And depending on what school she ends up going to next, I'm thinking of moving closer to there too, so that we can continue to live together and have the warm and caring family that my husband never gave us. Finally, as for David, he never ended up having to see his family again either, after he told both Georgia and his older brother that he was cutting ties to them. Because of that, he had finally felt a lot of freedom now that he had never once had with his brother and mother always treating him like a tool. And because of that, we do have some plans when summer has come around to go out and celebrate by doing the one thing we've all agreed would be a really fun time for our families, and that's going to a water park resort for a week. David also spoke with me for a little bit after I'd moved into my new place, and he agreed to pay around $20,000 for my daughter's education, as his way of finally paying me for all I'd done for his father and him in the past. I really didn't need any of that money from him for my daughter, but it does make me happy to finally see someone like David looking relieved for finally repaying me like that. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. And we look forward to seeing you at the next story.
Sarah, do you have a minute to talk with me about something?
Oh, hi, Mom. What are you wanting to talk about?
Well, let's start with this. How have things been for you recently? Have you been doing all right over there?
Yes, so far work has been going really well for me, and I'm having a fun time in the new office building that was built. And both my husband and son are doing good too. Just last week, we went to a water park and everything, so actually we're all pretty tired out and taking it easy. How about you, Mom? How have things been going for you?
Yeah, I'm also doing pretty well on my end.
That's good. But what's wrong with you right now, though? You seem a little down. Are you wanting me to move back home with you yet because you're lonely? I'm sure it's tough having to be on your own again and all, right? Both my husband and my son said you are more than welcome to come over here and live with us. We have that spare bedroom and everything still open that I told you can make yours earlier.
No, actually. I'm quite alright right now, living on my own still. And the thing is, I don't really want to leave this house at all. I still have Jet living close by to me, so I'll be alright. But thank you for that offer.
Are you sure? Well, if you are ever feeling like you need to move out of that house and in with us, just let me know. I can have the whole house ready for you within an hour.
Alright, thank you, Sarah.
Anyway, what was it that you wanted to talk to me about? You still seem pretty down about something.
Oh, that's right. Well, I feel really bad having to mention this to someone like you, considering that this had to do directly with you. And well, this has to do with my monthly allowance.
Okay. You're wanting to talk about the money that Jet and I are working together to send you every month. What's up with it? Do you feel as though you might need a little more from us this month?
I really am happy that the both of you are sending me money every month, since I don't have much in terms of Social Security, but $3 is a bit,
$3? What do you mean?
You know what I'm talking about, right? That's the amount of money you've been sending to me every month for the past few years now. I'm not trying to tell you how much to send me when it comes to my monthly allowance from you. And I am very thankful that the both of you have been willing to do this for me. But $3 is a bit... Well, don't you find that a bit mean? I have been trying my best to work with the money I get from my Social Security as well. But $2,000 a month from the government isn't really doing it for me.
Wait a second, Mom. Hold on. I have no idea what you mean by that.
When it comes to the amount you send me, that's based off of how you view me, right? In other words, I'm only worth around $3 to you, right?
That's not true at all, Mom. Why would you ever even say that?
Then could you please just tell me why you're sending me such a small amount of money each month? This small of an amount doesn't even make any sense. I can't even afford to feed my dog with this kind of insignificant money. Are you saying that I'm worth less than dog food to you? Maybe you'd be better off not sending me any money at all from now on.
Would you please calm down there, Mom? Along with the help of Jet, we've been sending you $3,000 every month, right?
What?
If all I was going to send you was $3, then you're right about the fact that I shouldn't even send you any money at all.
That's right. But this is what Jet has been telling me every month he sends me the money. That you're only willing to give me $3.
Then there must be something he's up to, right? Because it has not been me wanting to only give you $3 a month.
What do you think he'd be doing then?
Well, Perhaps he's taking the money I give to him to send to you and using it all on himself. Because I've been making sure to send him $2,000, and he fills in that other $1,000 before he puts it into your bank account. Or at least, that's what he should have been doing this whole time.
Hey, come on now. Don't say something so nasty about your brother. What would make you think that Jet could ever be taking the money that's meant for me and using it on himself?
But if that's not what he's doing every month, what else could it be? What else could be happening to that money I've been giving to him?
I wouldn't want for the police or anything to get involved in all of this, Sarah.
The police are not going to get involved in all of this, Mom. This is something within the family, and if he's really been stealing the money I've been giving to him to give to you, the police won't care.
Ever since your father, it has just been the four of us working together to make this family work right. I don't want to learn about how your older brother's been taking your money from you and not sending it to me.
But for the time being, if we don't look into what he's been doing with the money, we'll never know and nothing will change. I've been sending Jet that money for him to send to you because his account is through the same bank as yours, so it was easier to go that route. Maybe I'll have to take a look and see what's been going on with that money.
I'm really sorry about this, Sarah. Because of me, you're no longer trusting Jet anymore. And I'm sure you'll tell your younger brother about this too.
You are not to blame for anything, Mom. I think the only person to blame here is Jet. I never thought that he'd be willing to lie to his family about the money he's been taking from me to use on himself. Maybe he's going through something serious right now and doesn't want to bother any of us with it. But that wouldn't make any sense because this has been going on for years, you said. So that would mean...
Calm down, Sarah, there. Please.
Mom, I'm going in to look into all of this for you right now.
Sarah, next month is Mom's birthday, so are we all going to be heading back to her house to celebrate? I don't have any plans for that day yet and was thinking of going there with Jet and all, but if you plan to be going home to her as well, then let's plan something together.
I forgot about that. I think we'll be heading back to her place to celebrate as well, my husband and son as well.
I see. Then that'll mean this is the first time in a long time that all four of us get to spend time together again. Plus with your family around as well. This is going to be lots of fun for us all. I can't wait.
Right. That's right.
It's going to be Mom's 70th birthday, right?
Now that you mention it, it will be her 70th birthday. We'll have to make sure to do something really nice for her then.
It still blows my mind that ever since Dad passed away, Mom has been all on her own raising the three of us. All I can say to that is I really appreciate her for all she's done.
I feel the same way, Curtis.
I've been thinking, since both you and Jet have been sending her money each month, I thought I should jump in and help out with that. Maybe I'll give her some money as well as her present to show that I've been thinking about her as well.
You don't have to worry about that. You have a lot going on in your own life with work as it is, right? So just focus on getting your life back together for now, please.
That's totally right. Having the company which hired me go bankrupt like that overnight, and having to spend so much time looking for work without making any income? But I've made it past that slump in my life now and am working full-time again. Things have balanced out for me again, and I'm actually making decent money now. So I think it's time that I start sending Mom some money every month as well. Maybe I'll start by giving her $5,000 for her birthday and then a bit more each month after that.
Is that right?
Yes. And as for Mom's 70th birthday, I had a few things in mind for what I'd like to do for her.
Well, I'm sure she'll be happy to see whatever you have in store for her. But, Curtis, before we talk any further about that, can I speak to you about something off topic?
Huh? What's that?
When it comes to the money Jet and I have been sending Mom, I got a message from Mom herself about it, and she told me she was and has been only receiving $3 a month from me.
What? But I spoke with Jet about this a while ago, and he said the both of you together are sending her $3,000 a month as her allowance.
I'm aware of that. So, I went ahead and looked into what was all going on there, and that led to me finding out something I'm having a very hard time believing.
What did you find out?
It looks as though Jet has been stealing my money from me every time I send it to him to send to Mom.
What? You're lying, right?
I'm sure you're having just as hard of a time believing this as I am, but I can try to explain everything to you in a lot more detail.
Okay.
Hey, Jet. I have something to ask you about the money we've been sending Mom every month.
Yeah? What's up?
Mom told me that she's only been getting $3 from us ever since we started to send her money. Is that really the truth?
Oh, you're wanting to talk about that? So she went and told you about that then.
What do you mean by that?
I didn't want to tell you this, but Mom has a very hard time saving any of the money she gets. It's pretty bad, actually.
Really?
And because of that, she started to get into a lot of debt from all her needless spending. And due to that, I've had to use the money we're meant to send to her every month to pay off that debt for her. And that then leaves her with only $3 from us every month.
You're lying. I can't believe something like that. It was Mom of all people that told the three of us, you, me, and Curtis, to never ever get into debt no matter what. To hear that that person has been getting herself into debt?
I think that ever since the three of us moved out of her house, she finally had time to do whatever she wanted with herself. And well, the feeling of becoming free like that might have been too much for her to handle.
Are you serious right now? If that's really the case, then please tell me where she's been spending all that money at, and who she's been in debt with. You have to know what company or bank she's been borrowing all that money from, right?
You don't have to think about that right now. All you need to be doing is sending me the money that I can give to her each month, and I'll do what needs to be done with it.
You're lying. You have to be lying right now.
Mom is a changed person. She started to falter when it came to money, and now she's in massive debt. She's at the point now where she'll lie to us all about it because she's so ashamed of herself. And the reason she told you such a lie was to get you to come and question me instead of her. Just stop listening to whatever she lies to you about and only trust me.
How could you say such awful things about our mom, who has done so much for us?
I know more about her than either you or Curtis know, but she's still our mom, and we have no other choice but to take care of her. For the time being, please stop listening to and believing in her lies. You and I are siblings, and we have to work together to fix her debt.
All right, I get it. I won't bother with you anymore. Just know I'm not going to let you have your way any longer.
I told you to stop trusting whatever Mom's told you about this. Just listen to and do as I've said. It's that simple. Hey, Sarah, about this month's allowance for Mom?
What about it?
Normally you'd have that money to me by the end of the month, right? Do you think you could start sending me that money for her a bit sooner? I would like it if you started to get that money to me by the 15th every month, all right?
Why by then?
Because the day that the credit card Mom has been overusing wants us to make payments on it is the 15th of every month. So I was thinking it would be nice if you started to send me that money by the 15th so that I can pay things off for her right away.
You want this month's money from me that soon, though? Before, me sending money at the end of the month was never a problem for you, right?
I told you about this last week, right? Mom is spending way too much money all the time.
But look, we're sending her $3,000 a month, right? She also has her Social Security as well. That means she's getting close to $5,000 a month. And if that's not enough for her, then she must be living really fancy or something, right? I don't think Mom is the type of woman to do any of that, especially at her age.
I'm just as shocked as you are. Who would have thought that Mom, of all people?
So you're just going to take the excuse of Mom using all that money to the grave with you then, huh?
What else could the reason for this be? And what are you even talking about right now?
Well, whatever. You need the money by the 15th now? Well, that's fine by me.
All right, well, if it's fine with you, then I ask that you send me the money soon. This is all tough on me too, but as long as we have each other, we can make all of this work for Mom. Hey, Sarah, it's past the 15th now, right? Why haven't you sent me your half of Mom's allowance yet? Mom's gonna be in huge trouble if you don't send it to me right now.
What are you going on about right now?
I'm talking about the money you need to send me. We made a promise that you'd get that money to me before the 15th, right? Why hasn't any money appeared in my bank account yet?
It's not like that really even matters to you.
Huh? You promised me that we'd work together to take care of Mom with an allowance, right? You acting like that money doesn't matter anymore would really upset Mom.
Don't worry, Jet. Mom is very happy right now.
What are you going on about?
I already went and sent Mom my half of her allowance for this month.
Huh? But I still haven't seen any of that money come into my account.
Because I went and handed her the money in person this time.
You handed that money to her in person? Sarah, you live really far away from Mom's house, right?
Every once in a while I'll go home to see Mom, and I thought that this last time I'd bring that money along for her. In other words, that means Mom won't be upset with me now, so you can relax now. And I've been thinking, from here on out, I think I'll just hand her my half of the money in person every month. That will give me another reason to go out and see Mom's smiling and happy face more often.
But weren't you sending that money to me to then send to her because you live so far away and don't go through the same bank as her and I? I'm a bit worried about how much stress coming to Mom's house each month will bring you. That's why it's better you just send me her money every month.
You really don't have to worry about me anymore, Jet. This is all to help Mom, so I really do not mind.
But with handing her that money directly, she's gonna waste it all almost immediately, and none of it will go towards paying off her debt.
Actually, I asked Mom about all the debt she's supposedly been in. She told me she's not in any debt, and became a little irritated by me asking. In other words, that means you lied about it, right?
Are you gonna believe what Mom is telling you over me?
Well, duh.
I see. That's really unfortunate then. In other words, that means that Mom has gone and corrupted you too now. Well, if that's the lifestyle you're wanting to support, I won't say anything else about it. But I'm gonna have a word with Curtis about all this. I cannot allow for someone like him to be taken advantage of by Mom as well. So I need to explain everything to him before she does.
Who do you think you are?
I am the oldest sibling and I have to be there for him to make sure he's safe. I'm really sorry to have to do this, but I'm gonna make sure he knows not to ever talk to you or Mom ever again. Which means from here on out, don't you ever talk to myself or him ever again, please.
Go ahead and tell him then.
Curtis, for Mom's next birthday, don't even bother coming home to her. Huh? Why can't I go home and see her? Because both Mom and Sarah have gone crazy, and I feel that they'll both be coming after you next to cause some problems. They've both gone crazy? Did you know that Mom has been really bad with her money and has been getting herself into a lot of debt now? I've been using the money from both myself and Sarah to help pay all of that off for Mom, but Sarah keeps on saying that Mom isn't in any debt and won't believe what I've told her, and right now the both of them are joining up to blame me for Mom never getting any money from us. I think they'll start to talk to you about that pretty soon too, and then Mom and Sarah will try and get you to start sending money to Mom so she can waste it all as well. You're saying Mom is going to try getting my money from me? I don't think someone like her could ever do that. But she will, because I'm telling you the truth. But hasn't it been you stealing the money this whole time? Curtis, what all did you hear about from Sarah? I've heard about everything, Jet. That's all lies she's made to make me look bad. Everything I just told you is the truth. I had a hard time believing what she told me about you at first. That's why I had a look at the account where I'd been saving up money for Mom's 70th birthday. Curtis! You were talking about this before, right? About how you wanted to go all out for Mom's birthday this year, and that's why we made that account together to save up for her present, right? But after hearing what all Sarah had told me, I went and had a look at the amount of money we'd saved up so far in that account. I was shocked when I found that there was only a couple dollars left. I had been putting in $1,000 a month, yet... No! Wait! That was, Mom! How the hell would Mom have been able to pull money from that account? It's not even a part of the same bank Mom has accounts in, and was made only for you and I to access. So shut the hell up about it being Mom or Sarah that took the money. You tricked me so that you'd have easy access to some of my money. I'm not gonna trust a single word out of a scummy-ass loser's mouth like yours. Wait! I've had a lot of reasons for doing that! I don't even want to listen to your sob story. Don't ever talk to me again. God damn it! Now you've gone and told Curtis some BS to make him doubt me!
I told him some BS? Are you sure I wasn't just telling him the truth?
I was only doing all of it for the sake of this family.
Whose family are you talking about? Have you even gone and seen the place Mom has had to live in? She's been having to live with the same exact clothing, dishes, and bedding that she had when we were all living with her. Also, when it came to Mom's dad, he was the kind of guy that got into debt all the time, and that hurt his whole family. That is why Mom is severely allergic to things like being in debt. That whole time after Dad passed away, she had to raise us all by herself, and even when she didn't have enough money, she made it all work, because she never wanted to borrow any money at all. Yet for some damn reason, you thought it would be a good idea to lie about her and say she's been in major debt this whole time. You are a dick, Jet.
I get it. I'll tell the truth. Yes, I was using the money which you sent me for Mom on myself. But hey, I had no other choice. A lot of things happened with me, and I got into some debt. I couldn't find any way to get that debt to go away, so I started to pull money from what you sent to me.
Had you told me that you needed help a long time ago when you realized you were in trouble, I would have been fine helping you out. But it's been years now of me sending you money to send to Mom, and that's all been getting used up by you. Are you really going to tell me that that was all being used to pay off your debt? How much debt are you even in right now?
Wait a sec.
I know about how you just love to gamble, Jet, but I never commented about it because I thought you were smart enough to know not to ever spend more than what you could afford. However, look at yourself. You had to get into debt over it, and then you started to use my money to gamble that was meant for Mom. I can't forgive you for that crap, Jet.
How do you...
I had to ask someone to go out and look into what you've been up to. You are the worst, Jet.
Okay, I won't do any of that anymore. But can you please just send me this month's money? I have been having a really tough time paying off this debt, and I'm in trouble now.
No freaking way. I'm not sending you squat.
Are you really just going to abandon one of your own brothers while they're in need?
You're no brother of mine anymore. I already talked with Mom and Curtis about this, and we've all agreed to cut ties to you now. That means from now on, you never come around the three of us again.
You're cutting ties to me? Are you serious?
Of course I'm serious. I don't want to be involved with a man that thinks it's okay to use his whole money to pay off his own gambling debt.
Ah, I see. It doesn't really matter to me anyway.
Good. Thank you for understanding.
I have no use for a family that won't even spare me a little money anymore, so screw all of you. And as for the old hag's care, I'm not going to have to do any of that as she grows older.
I should have known. You really are nothing more than the scum of this earth.
I am. You never noticed that? I've been working with you and lived with you for so long. Guess you can't judge anything with those crappy eyes.
Anyway, don't you ever bother the three of us anymore.
Sure thing, I got it.
Also, when it comes to all that money you stole from us, I'll make sure to get it all back from you.
What was that? How do you think you're going to get that money back from me? You're not going to be able to take a family matter to court, you know.
I know that, but when it's a civil affair, that's different.
A civil affair?
That's what I said. Sure, I can't have you charged as a criminal for stealing, but I can still call this a civil affair that needs to be settled through a judge. And that's where I'll be able to sue you. I'll be able to come up with all the amounts of money you've taken from Curtis and I, and we'll both be able to get settlements from you if the judge deems that fair.
Wait a second. Are you serious about that?
Would I ever bluff? I'm not letting little cunts like you get away scot-free.
I already told you about the debt that I'm in, right? If I have to pay off 2 settlements as well to you guys, I'll never be able to have any money of my own ever again. Are you trying to ruin my life right now?
I sure am.
You know I'll never even be able to pay off all of that.
Are you going to start crying about it now? You're not a baby anymore, you're an adult. And as one, you need to take responsibility for what you've done.
Hey, hold on, please. I'll apologize and I'll make sure you both get your money back.
You think I'm going to believe what you're telling me anymore?
Can you at least give me until after I've paid off my other debt before I pay you both? If you allow that, then I'll be able to get you both your money a whole lot faster.
No damn way, Jet. I'm taking you to court over this as soon as possible. The next time you talk to me will be with my lawyer.
Hold on a second. Don't go trying to kill one of your own family members like that.
Well, that family member went and stabbed everyone in their own family in the back. And you having to go burn in hell now is what you freaking deserve. I really hope you can work your ass off somewhere to make more money to pay everything off while you're still alive.
Please, Sarah, listen to me, please.
I've already heard enough of you. And this is the choice we've all made because of it, so give up trying to change my mind. I just finished up talking to my lawyer about Jet, and he seems to be wanting to take on both of our cases against him, thankfully. So, when you have time, please give him and I a call.
Awesome, thank you for that. I'm still in shock, though, that Jet would do all of that to us.
I feel the same way too. But you know who's even more sad than the both of us right now? Mom is. So we need to wrap all of this up and get back to living life the way things were to make her happy again.
Yeah, you're right. Okay.
Pretty soon will be her 70th birthday, so when that time comes, let's make sure to celebrate it with all our heart.
Of course. I've always had to rely on everyone else, so this time I'll step up and make sure to support Mom just like you've been doing.
I'll be looking forward to that then. After all of that, Curtis and my claim against Jet was recognized in a civil suit, and he was ordered to pay damages and compensation to us. It seems he really was in some serious debt, and this only made a situation more dire for him to deal with. He did try and plead for the judge to let him off the hook this time for what he'd done, and even told everyone in that courtroom that he was in close to $100,000 worth of debt still. But the judge wasn't going to listen to him anymore after all he heard from Curtis and I, and told him he'd have to start paying the both of us in the next 3 months. Not even a day after that case, both Curtis and myself ended up getting part of our settlements paid off by Jet, but that was using whatever he had left in terms of borrowed money. Eventually, some of the debt collectors started coming after him, and even found his workplace, which led him to losing his job. I'm not sure why his boss fired him from there, but I think it had something to do with one of those collectors actually storming inside the building swinging a baseball bat, saying he was going to break Jet's legs if he didn't start paying. After being forced out of the workplace and told to never come back, Jet had no other choice but to confront the collectors, who told him he'd get one last chance before they took him out back and offed him. He was then told by them to pick up work for a construction group they ran, and there he's been working day in and day out making up the money they need from him. There was only one problem with all of this, and that's that he never got over his gambling addiction. And so, after going out in the middle of the night to gamble away some of his money, he was found and taken away by those collectors. To this day, nobody really knows what happened to him or where he went, but none of my family really cares, so I'm just going to say that that was the end for him. Curtis and I never did get our full settlements from Jet in the end, but I don't mind that either, because at least we now both know we'll never ever be seeing him again. When it comes to my mom, with Jet no longer being a part of our family, she finally decided to move in with my family. My son has really started to enjoy playing with my mom, and the house as a whole feels a lot brighter with her around. We also ended up celebrating my mom's 70th birthday at my house along with Curtis, and seeing my mom smile a grin so huge, it felt like we finally gone back to being a very happy family again. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.